Hi everyone, it's Kelly here from Spiritual Awakening Signs, and today we're covering pre-birth consciousness pain, the hidden key to greater awakening and raising your emotional vibration. Now, you might never have heard of anything like this. I actually haven't seen this topic covered in Spiritual Awakening anywhere else. I really don't know why, because it is a huge missing link to moving forward in your spiritual awakening, but we're going to cover all of that. So in this video we're going to cover what pre-birth consciousness pain actually is, and if you have it you'll be able to know by the end of the video. 3 signs your soul was conscious before birth. You can find out for sure why pre-birth healing is the hidden key to your ascension, and we're going to be covering all of that. It's really exciting stuff. 3 steps to heal your pre-birth consciousness pains and the repetitive life patterns that they create, which is very important for your manifesting abilities, and how to raise your emotional vibration, which we all want to do. We all want to raise our vibration in a big way and move with the shift of Gaia at the moment. So let's get right into the content and we'll get started. So the first thing that I want you to know is it's quite a bold statement to make, but you were energetically and spiritually aware before birth. So what we're really talking about is that state in utero. So really the time before you were actually born, your soul was aware of all the things that were going on round about. So you were picking up on the state of the people around you, on the emotions of the people around you, the energies of what was going on, and the environment that you were about to be born into. Now, I've seen this time and time again. I've worked with lots and lots of clients over a long time, and it comes up time and time again. Quite often we look for the key to an issue and we look for where it was created, and clients are really surprised to find that it's back in this in utero state, this pre-birth state. And it's because as souls we are actually aware at that point. We're picking up on things energetically. We're still reading the energy of what's going on before we're really fully here. And the challenge with that is that in that place where you're picking up on all the spiritual things that are going on around about you energetically, you also pick up on all the conflict. You pick up on anxiety, maybe rejection, maybe judgments, anything else that has pain to do with it, things that you experience that cause you pain, and you carry that pain in your heart, and you still have that pain to this day, even if you can't remember it, which most people don't unless we really go digging in therapy. It's something energetically that exists within us on an unconscious level. Now, the problem with it is that state, that place where you were in, and it's really a soul level state because you're not quite here yet, it creates the foundations energetically for your life energy blueprint. It creates your point of attraction as a soul when you come into this lifetime, and it really dictates the types of experiences and situations that you draw into your life. So the problem that we've got is that your pre-birth assumptions that you made could be really painful things. They could be incorrect. So things like I'm unloved, I'm uncared for, I'm unwanted, I'm unsafe. These things, we really absorb them and we take them into our energy blueprint, and then we're born into this life and we are hardwired for those type of experiences, things that kind of confirm it over and over again throughout our lives. And that's quite often why we tend to get patterns and themes, and it's like, this always happens to me with people, I always get rejected, I always get abandoned. Those type of themes, they show up again and again because they're in the energy blueprint. So that's what we're talking about changing today. It's really powerful work. It's incredible, and we want to be able to change that so that you can really move forward, so that you're healing within, you're healing pains that you might have had your entire life and not even known where they originated, but you're shifting things so that you can really move forward in a big way. And it's about leaving all the negative energy, the stuff that's weighing you down and holding you down in those lower vibrations, the 3D vibrations, and getting rid of all those repetitive similar experiences that keep coming around and around in your life, and then allowing yourself to really move into this better energy. If you want to truly ascend, if you really want to raise your vibration and move into higher vibrational living, you really need to focus on this pre-birth pain healing. And it's something that's really very rarely covered. But what I can say is that when you do that, not only are you going to heal a lot of the wounds that you've carried your entire life without maybe even knowing why, but you're also going to really shift and raise your emotional and spiritual vibration for good. You're going to change your energy blueprint. And to me, that is just like, oh my gosh, it's huge. It's absolutely huge. It's such a cool thing that you're able to do. So that's why this masterclass is going to be packed with information that you need to help you do that. It's not as complicated as it sounds, I promise, but it is very effective work. So let's first of all start to talk about if you were spiritually aware before birth. So let's really work out if that was happening for you. And the challenge is that it's usually unconscious, but we'll talk a bit about it. So it does sound a bit like a sci-fi movie, I will admit that, but I've found time and time again that we were spiritually aware, we were spiritually conscious before birth, and we do remember all the pains, the fears, the insecurities that we had at that time, but we remember it on an unconscious level. So it's kind of like programming that's in there, it's in the filing system and it's running your life, but you're not always that aware of it unless something comes up that really resonates with it and it causes a lot of pain. Now, through sessions with clients over the years and years, I've found that we really were listening, we were awake, but we were also recording. So when I say that these things go into the filing cabinet in the brain, they really are recorded, but it's not just a mental thing, it's an energetic thing. And the challenge there is that we carry this stuff and it's in our system and it starts to draw these experiences of similar experiences to us, so it starts to kind of play out in that way, and that can really be a huge problem. So in those moments we made energetically powerful assumptions about ourselves, about the world around us, about life, and we make those assumptions and they remain in our psyche to this day. They don't go away. We are hardwired for it our entire lives unless we do something about it. Now, programs and beliefs, like I said before, things like the world's an unsafe place, or I'm unwanted, or I'm unloved, or anything along those lines, is all the result of our souls sensing the energies of the world we were about to be born into. We started to pick up on it and make assumptions about life. That is pre-birth consciousness trauma. It is pain experienced by the soul before you were actually born. Okay? Now, of course, the assumptions that we have from that time might not be correct. Okay, we could be wrong, and certainly as souls, sometimes we get it wrong, even from a slightly higher consciousness point of view. Sometimes we get it wrong. But clearing these negative feelings and those negative beliefs from the energy body can really bring huge shifts. So things like a totally new perspective, greater truth, more compassion, more understanding, and quite often the feeling that there's been a weight lifted, but it's a weight that you kind of always had but never really knew was there, or you weren't consciously aware that it was there, you didn't know why it was there. It's like all of a sudden there's just a burden lifted, and it's like, that feels lighter, that feels better. Not to mention it totally transforms your point of attraction. So as someone who is able to manifest energetically, you're going to be able to draw a lot more positive things to you, because the negative things that were in your field when you first were born into this world, the things that you were programmed with, are going to be cleared out. So completely changing your ability and what you can draw into the world and into your point of attraction. It's really, really powerful work, and it's really, really interesting as well. Now, in order to think about that and to really wonder if that's happened to you, think of a feeling or a life pattern, something that has always been with you for as long as you can remember. Maybe it's something you can't ever remember being without. That would be the best way to put it. So maybe you've always felt rejected or worthless, or maybe you've never been able to really connect with another person. Maybe you've spent your life fearing the world and feeling quite unsafe in it. We all carry a different wound, so if you can, anything you can think of, it could be that. If it's painful, it could be that. If you can't ever remember not having that particular feeling, or not feeling that way, not thinking that way, then it's highly likely that it's the result of pre-birth consciousness trauma. If it's something that you can't ever think, I don't ever remember not being like that, I don't ever remember not having that, then it's probably pre-birth consciousness trauma, because it's in the filing system and it's in the energy system, and it's basically become part of who you are. But of course it's not, it's just programming, it's just things that we picked up that are no longer needed, and it's really time for them to go as you move into these higher vibrations with your ascension. Now, the problem that we've got, like I said before, is that it creates an energy blueprint that sets for life, and I really mean that. It sets your whole life long, and that painful energy and any type of trauma in your system is going to dictate the type of experiences and the energies that you're going to draw towards you and your point of attraction. So you'll quite often attract the same type of hurtful situations or hurtful experiences over and over again, and of course it just perpetuates the hurt and holds you back from your ascension because you're so busy, feeling all this upset. Negative emotion really holds us back. It really keeps us stuck in the lower vibration, so you're going to be unable to ascend if you don't move out of that. It's time to move out of it. Plus, you can actually pass it on to your kids too. It's like an energetic resonance that quite often gets passed down generation by generation. So it's really important that we get it all cleared out. And don't worry, because in this masterclass, we're going to show you exactly how to do that. Now, when we heal our pre-birth selves, that's the best way to put it. When we heal our pre-birth selves, we heal our earliest traumatic wounds and we repair our starting point in life, ultimately. And we free ourselves from the limiting identity that those wounds created. So the things that we took on and the things that we decided were true about life or about ourselves, we actually start to clear them. And the wonderful thing about that is that when we clear those, when we heal those, we show the universe that we're totally committed to our awakening process and we're willing to heal as far back in our lifetime as it possibly needs to go to truly reach that fully awakened potential. Now, if you can go as far back as possible, which would be your starting point in life, of course you can do past life stuff, we do help with that as well. But if you can go back as early as you can in this lifetime, you're really clearing the blueprints for this entire life. You can make massive progress just by clearing that negative energy out to shift you forward. Now, it's important that you show your soul that it's time to see past all the previous illusions, all the stuff that filtered your perceptions all your life, anything that held you back from your fully awakened potential. So from that newly awakened state, things really begin to shift. That's when things start to shift, because it's not just about an up here thing and how you feel, although that does make a big difference. It's about your point of attraction and what's actually being drawn into your life, what's being reflected back into your life. It's very powerful, and sharing this type of information is really, really important to me, because you don't need to keep going with all these limiting energetic patterns, and you don't need to be stuck in a limiting energetic blueprint for your entire life, struggling, wondering why you can't manifest, wondering why the same hurtful situations keep happening to you, the same themes keep showing up in your life. It's absolutely something that can be healed by addressing your pre-birth pain, even if you can't remember it, because most people can't. It's more of a sense, it's more of an energy, it's not a physical memory. So we're going to create a new energetic life plan for you. We're going to create a new energetic life blueprint so that the energies that are sent out from you are free of all that negativity, and that's what makes the shift in your life. That's what really starts to change the experiences and even the people sometimes that are drawn into your life. It's a really powerful thing. It can give you such a zest for life. It can totally renew your energy when you get these heavy weights and burdens lifted from the soul energy that you're carrying. It's very, very powerful. Okay, so let's talk about 3 signs that your soul was actually conscious before birth, and let's cover that. Now is the perfect time for you to start doing this type of stuff. You want to shift the negative blueprint, and you want to get rid of all the stuff that's limiting your experiences and just making life a lot more difficult. You'll be a lot happier when you do, and you'll be more at ease with yourself when you ditch all that old baggage and you start to really feel your spirit naturally shift into these higher vibrations. It's just a natural thing. You don't need to do anything. Once the clearing's done, your vibration just starts to lift, because all that heavy baggage isn't holding it down. So you'll find that you start to align more with a kind of joyful, positive lightness of spirit, and you'll have optimum law of attraction power, which is really, really what we want. We want to bring positive things into our lives. Now the thing is, if you don't do it, like I said, your life's going to continue to follow the same patterns. It's unfortunately the things that are created in the pre-birth consciousness just perpetuate. They just keep going. They just create a cycle that just sticks in life, and it's really difficult to get out of without actually using energy healing to shift it. But you can do it, and we have 3 steps to help you do it. So let's talk about those 3 signs. Sign number 1 would be you had a hunch about your birth or your parents that turned out to be correct. So before we're born into this physical world, we perceive through our spiritual awareness, and we are picking up all the time on the emotions and the feelings, and even sometimes the things that people say. We're picking up on the energies, and we're reading the energies before we're born. We know what's happening, and we do pick up on that. And like I said before, I've worked with so many clients, and we look for where something originated, and we find it back in this pre-birth consciousness state. We find that it happened way back. They picked up on an argument between mum and dad. They picked up on the energies of conflict. They picked up on the perception of others, and them coming into the world, whether they were wanted or unwanted, or whether there was problems at home, whatever it is, they picked up on it. And we quite often find that once you actually shift that energy, once you heal that and really resolve that, it just absolutely has this huge impact on your life, because as it dissolves that, it just opens up the energetic pathways for all this wonderful new energy to come in. You're kind of letting go of something that's always been a burden over your shoulder your entire life, so you don't even know it's there. You're so used to it being there, you don't even know it's there, and you're able to clear it. But the wonderful thing is that you quite often find, or interestingly, you quite often find that when you have a hunch about something, you speak to a parent, you speak to a family member, you speak to someone, and they confirm it. They say, oh, that's right, that is what was going on at the time. And it's like, whoa, how could I possibly know that? It's because your soul was aware, your soul was listening. Sign number 2 is that you have emotional pain that you can't ever remember being without. So like I said, it's if there's something that you feel, some emotional theme that comes up, some pain that keeps showing up in your life, or some repetitive pattern, like people always do this to me, this always happens to me. If it's something that you can't ever remember not feeling that way, it's probably been something that has been an experience that you have had traumatically in the pre-birth consciousness state. So things like fearfulness, worthlessness, rejection, abandonment, all those types of energies, particularly if you were very, very young, and you think back to being really young, and it's like, was it there before then? It probably was. That's usually a good sign that it was pre-birth consciousness pain, and you're picking up on that, you're aware of that. Sign number 3 is that you have problems in your life that just won't resolve no matter what you try. This would probably be the biggest red flag that it's pre-birth consciousness pain, because sometimes there are themes and patterns in our lives, especially when we're moving through spiritual awakening, that they just won't shift. Despite support, therapy, healing, iron will, they just won't shift. And it's usually the result of the energetic life blueprint being set in a certain state, and you can't get out of it. It's just perpetuating all these energies and all these issues. And it's really because that emotional pain, that emotional trauma from the pre-birth consciousness state exists in your energy field. So if you think of all those negative experiences sitting in the energy field, they become like a magnet, and they draw in similar experiences, they draw in similar people, they draw in the same old baggage all over again, and you have to go through it again, and it's all upsetting. And it's like, no matter what you try, it just won't shift. That would really be the biggest hint that you're going through pre-birth consciousness trauma. It's like the life blueprint has set in a certain state, and you just can't seem to wriggle out of it no matter what you do. And it's really frustrating, to say the least. But the wonderful thing is that as you move into pre-birth consciousness healing, when you start to do that, you can repair it, because you can remove the negative energy from that life blueprint, and more than that, you can replace it with something positive, so that you become a positive beacon for the law of attraction. You can become, a walking energy of manifestation to draw positive things into your life. It really makes a big, big difference. And it lets you shine. It really lets you shine with that inner light that you came here with. You're not meant to come here and be bogged down by negative energies that you can't move through and that you're stuck in for a really long time. When you move them, it's kind of like being able to be the light worker you were meant to be, because there's nothing hindering that wonderful light, that channeling of the light. It's very great. It's really great. So let's talk about how to heal your pre-birth consciousness pain. And of course, boost your law of attraction power at the same time. So like I said before, the key thing I want you to take away today is that you were energetically and spiritually aware before birth. So you were picking up on things when you were in utero, you were picking up on the energies and the emotions of people around you and the world that you were about to be born into, and you picked up on conflict, anxiety, rejection, judgment, all these different themes, and you carried the pain with you. Okay, so it's still with you today. You made assumptions about life and about who you are and what other people mean to you and all the rest of it, and you came into this life and it's set. Okay, But the problem with that is, again, that you're just stuck with pain that's always been there. And I know that you are aware of the pain that's always been there, and hurt that you can't remember ever being without. And that's a horrible thing to try and live with, if there's pain there that you just can't seem to get rid of, no matter what you try. If you want to ascend and you want to raise your consciousness, that old pain cannot come with you. Nor would you want it to, but it can't come with you. You're at a pivotal juncture in your awakening pathway, and it's about choosing a path. Will you choose the path that you've always walked, the one that's familiar but it hurts, or are you going to make the choice to step into a higher vibration, to walk a path that's a bit less travelled, but it's a much more expansive path? It's one that's going to lead you to wholeness. So do you want to move into authenticity, intuition, enlightenment? You've got two roads. It's up to you. You absolutely decide. But we would really encourage you that you use our 3-step system to choose the more enlightened path, because it really is worth so much to have that peace of mind, to feel good within, to feel healed, healthy and whole. And life is never perfect. Life is never perfect, but to be able to heal some of those wounds that you've carried all your life can make a huge difference. And I absolutely think it's a vital part of moving through the awakening process. So let's talk about those steps. Step 1 is access the pre-birth consciousness state. Now, in order for us to work so deeply with the spiritual subconscious, we have to be regressed to that pre-birth consciousness state. But the great thing is that can be done while you're fully alert. You don't need to go into trance, you don't need to be hypnotised, you don't need anything like that. It can be done while you're fully alert, because we can use energy healing, and it works really, really well. Energy healing is absolutely the best way to access that suppressed aspect of ourselves, because the information from the memories of the pre-birth state are stored on the soul level. It's the soul level where they're stored, so only energy can access that. So that's why energy healing is just the best thing to do. You need to access that state to be able to heal it, and energy healing is the way to do that. Step 2 is to release the pain with energy healing. Now, you want to use energy healing to release that pain, because you need to be gentle, but you also need it to be effective. Okay, you don't need visions, you don't need memories of the pre-birth state, none of that is necessary at all. The energy healing is going to cause a release of the negative energy, all the emotion and all the trauma from that experience, and it's going to release it from the energy body. Sometimes that can bring a surge of emotion, it can bring insights, it can bring clarity as we start to heal, but quite often the energy just takes care of it with such gentleness that you almost don't even notice anything. You don't need to re-experience any trauma or any upset at all, which is why I would usually recommend it for such a topic that requires such gentle care. It's really quite a vulnerable energy you're working with, pre-birth consciousness, and you need to be very gentle, but you also need it to be effective. So instead of going through all that trauma, we just feel maybe a sense of lightness of spirit after that's been done. So it's really wonderful. Use energy healing. And step 3 is to replace the negative energy with a healthy energetic life blueprint set for positive experiences. And this is the step that really makes the difference, but quite often it's the missing piece that I see in most energy healing treatments. The negative energy that's released doesn't automatically turn into a positive. It's when you make that shift and you clear the negative energy out, it's just kind of like a 0 point. It's balance. It's not positive and it's not negative. It's just balance. So if we really want to repair your energetic life blueprint and make it so that you can draw these positive experiences into your life, we can't just be at balance and 0. We need to put more positivity into the field to draw those positive things to you. So we need to add positivity to the field. And when we do, quite often you'll feel a little brighter. At least you'll feel a little brighter than before, but your energy is going to be set to that, to naturally draw positive vibrations into your energy and into your life too. So it really makes a big shift. And of course, like I said, we use energy healing to do all of that. Now, energy healing is the way to go. There is nothing else I would encourage you to use. It's the best way to do this. It's the simplest way to do this. It's the fastest way to do this. And we're going to be covering more on the resource that we've got that will help you. It will do it all for you, very gently, very carefully, but it's going to make a huge impact to your energy field and your life blueprint. So let's have a little recap of what we've covered so far. So you were energetically and spiritually aware before birth. You picked up on the emotions and energies round about you, and you made assumptions about life that have become your energetic blueprint and created your point of attraction. Okay, that's absolutely what's happening energetically. We covered 3 signs that your soul was conscious before birth, and they were that you had a hunch about birth or your parents that turned out to be correct, that you have emotional pain that you can't ever remember being without, and you have problems in your life that just won't resolve no matter what you try. Then we talked about the 3 steps to heal your pre-birth consciousness pain and access your law of attraction power as well. You need to access the pre-birth consciousness state with energy healing. You need to release the pain with energy healing, and then replace the negative energy with a healthy energetic life blueprint set for positive experiences. You have to set that, or you're really just going to be neutral. It's not really going to make that much difference. It's very important. Now the good news is you don't need to go to energy healers, you don't need to train, you don't need to go and get expensive repeated sessions. If you're ready to get started on healing your pre-birth consciousness pain right now, then you can check out our brand new energy healing meditation. It's called the Pre-Birth Consciousness Healing, and it's specifically created to heal your emotional pain sustained prior to birth. It'll change your life energy blueprint, all that wonderful stuff we were talking about, and it will raise your emotional vibration. And we can get started literally in about 10 minutes time. It's pretty fast and it works really great. You won't find a healing product like this anywhere else, I am certain of that. Our meditations are a really special blend of meditation and energy healing, so you get that wonderful energy activation in the energy healing, and that's what takes it that one step further. It's really the benefit of an energy healing session, but it's nice and calming and relaxing too. And it's the equivalent of a specifically tailored energy healing session with me, because I work with a collection of high vibrational spirit guides who are dedicated to helping us on the awakening pathway, and when I do the meditation, they will connect with you immediately and begin working on your energy. So it's a real specialised healing experience, and you can use it as often as you like, you can repeat it as often as you like to keep moving through layers and layers of any of this stuff to move through and progress in your awakening. And of course you can do it at home and at your own pace, it's very easy. So this meditation will do a few different things. It's going to heal your pre-birth trauma, soothe the pain of feeling unwanted, unloved, uncared for, or unsafe as a baby. It's going to clear energetic imprints of negative pre-birth experiences. It's going to mend attachment and bonding wounds. It's going to help you let go of lifelong negative beliefs. That's the biggie, if you can clear those out of your system. Positively charge your life energy blueprint and your point of attraction to help your manifestation abilities, and it's going to raise your emotional vibration. It's just fantastic stuff. I'm really excited about this one, and I think that the topic really makes a huge difference to not only your awakening but your life as well and how you feel within. So take a little look below and see if it feels like a fit for you.